And there we go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. So welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. My guest and co-host is Jason D. McKean. And he is the voice of over 1 million ohms throughout the world. Yeah, thank you for being on the show, Jason.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th. So we're going to talk about Friday the 13th today. And then, we're having a huge eclipse this weekend. And it's either, I think Sunday night, I have to look for you guys when it's going to be seen in the world, but it's a total eclipse. And it is on the most intense aspect of 360 degrees. So we are in a building process. No depression this weekend. It's all about building our lives into the best possible way. Okay.
So is this a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse?
It's a lunar eclipse. Yeah. Lunar eclipse always means that something we need to decide what we don't want in our life anymore. So this is a big aspect because it's an intense aspect anyway. Mm-hmm. And not only is it that, it's like it's in trine to Pluto right now, and other jet fuel type of areas in our lives. So it's about change, and it's about creating great change. And I'm really excited about the different changes in my life. So, everybody needs to be excited about their changes. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And change, I think, is a big part of it's like the 13th.
Yes.
In the tarot, it's like the number 13 card in the major arcana is the death card. Mm-hmm. And that is a card of change, of renewal, transformation. Yeah. Of, one thing ending and the next beginning. Yeah. And so, it's if one is focusing on that, especially for this weekend of clearing, of letting go of that which no longer serves you, it's like you can start to usher in this new energy, this new essence, this new identity, however you want to see this change, and to start integrating it into your own being.
Yes. And that's it, isn't it? It's the integration.
Yeah.
This time. How have we changed in the last few years to now really get back on track and get on track the right way and not the wrong way anymore?
Yeah. In ways that do not serve us, or, if we've been feeling like it's time for that change, it's like, sometimes we can resist it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just like, how do I go about it? I don't know that first step. And, each journey starts with that first step. And, it's like, it can feel like it takes a longer time to build up to that moment of that first step than, when you start, making the moves, when you start just, taking the next step and the next and the next, it can feel like a lot easier. It's just getting to that very first step where you're ready to, make the move.
Mm. Yeah. And that's it, is how do we get over our fears? Because, Friday the 13th has always been a day of like, oh my goodness, the 13, it's fearful. Let's freak out about it, And,
Right.
And it certainly is not, it's like every other day. We make it or break it. What do you want?
I don't know. My name is Jason. Jason is associated with Friday the 13th.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, well, I've never even associated you in that way. You're kind of you're the good Jason.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It's like
you are always the good Jason.
It's like the only pointy thing that I have here is just my beard. It's like,
yes. And it's fluffy.
Yeah, it's not going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, I did want us to talk about the phobias. You know, there's phobias around Friday the 13th, and they have these weird long names. And I thought that we would try to pronounce them, just so you know, it's just so weird. So I should go first because
You go first.
I think Jason pronounces weird things better than me.
Well,
And
there's two names,
right,
right,
and
to
they're very
describe the
weird.
fear of 13
Right.
and Friday the 13th. So
Right.
go for it. Go for it.
Right. So it's let's see, paraskavedekatriaphobia is one of them.
Yeah, think of it as far as like in Greek, right? In Greek,
Okay.
and so
So
you
use it.
have words like you see paraskavedekatriaphobia, right? If you break it
Right.
down into that, so paraskavedekatriaphobia.
Say it faster.
Oh God. Okay, you know what? I'm up for it. I'll do it. Paraskavedekatriaphobia.
Yeah,
Paraskavedekatriaphobia.
that was good. Yeah, see? Jason
All
did
right.
it
So
good.
what's the second one?
Yeah. Paraskavedekatriaphobia.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I
Work on that.
tried. I
Yeah,
tried.
no. It's good. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay. And so the other one is friggatriskaidekaphobi. So what is that one?
Try that again.
Friggatriskaidekaphobia.
So frigga, right?
Yes.
Which it feels like that's, because we
Frigid. Nah.
um
Prayed.
no
Go on.
we take Friday from
Oh,
Freya, right? The
yes.
Norse mother
Water.
goddess there. And yeah, it's well, I think they call well frio, it's like that's Spanish, right, for cold and all
Hot.
that. But
Hot and cold.
Yeah.
But
But
Caliente is hot.
Frigga
cold.
is like the Friday, right?
Yeah.
Frigga triskaidekaphobia.
Okay.
So friggatriskaidekaphobia.
Triska, a Triskai. Because you say I. Triskai.
Friggatriska. Well, I mean, I'm not feeling that I part.
Okay.
It might be a silent I.
Okay.
Friggatriska. Well, friggatriskaidekaphobia.
Okay. So anyway, those are the fear of 13, which I don't know where those words came from, but they're really long.
Well, most of that is either Greek or Latin based. Like frigga, and then triska is like the tri. That's the 3. Deca is 10, right?
Mhm.
So 3 and 10, 13.
Oh,
So
okay.
so there's logic in it. It's just long, and it's just easier to say Friday the 13th.
Well, for us.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to
it's not run together.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's a fun one. That's a fun exercise.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked it and everybody else wants to do it. I can, put out the names so you can try to pronounce them as well. So, yeah, so it's the fear of 13, which is quite, interesting.
Yeah, and Friday the 13th, and speaking of the Norse part of it, it's like there's an origin story of a big party that they had, and Loki was the 13th guest, and I think was either shunned or not invited, or something went wrong, and he got mad. He got his panties in a twist, and
very much so.
And so he did some cursing and tricking, and some people got killed.
Well,
and
yeah.
And so it's just like, don't invite Loki to your parties. That's the gist of that.
The gist of it. There's always a Loki around,
there's always a Loki around, right? In every family, and it's like
every group.
it's like the Thanksgiving, right? It's like, well, we've got to invite Uncle Bob, you know,
The Loki.
or else
Yeah.
there's going to be hell to pay. And so it's like, you know, just put Uncle Bob on his own table, just in the corner, you know, but, you know, keep him happy, you know,
Yeah.
don't let him freak out and create havoc. Um,
We always, when we were kids, we had a mythical Uncle Bob, because we had so many uncles and so many aunts, but we had a mythical Uncle Bob. Yeah, it was a kind of a running joke. Like, what, Dad? She's out having lunch with Uncle Bob.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing like securing somebody's feelings. Yeah, yeah, wasn't true, but
and I guess, you know, there's also in the Christian religion, right? There
yes,
is the Last Supper. You know,
yes,
there's 13, and you know that 13th was Judas, you know, who created havoc for Jesus there. So it's
right.
like, you know, there's these associations with
Mhm.
13, where it's like, you know, it's like one too many, right? One too many that starts to create some problems. So,
Plus, isn't there 13 Olympian gods?
you know, that's a good question. It's a good question. And
I think there is.
who's that 13th? You know, who's the trickster, the one who's like the Uncle Bob of their group?
The Loki.
Well, not in the Greeks, though, not
Oh,
in the
not the
Olympians.
Greeks. Well,
Yeah.
it would be, yeah, you know more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's I'm trying to think of who that trickster would be, because they seem to be. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. But it's a
Well, I
good
know
one.
in Greek it would probably be Pan, wouldn't it?
Well, Pan, you know, certainly has that
So
type of energy.
so
I
what
just don't
is
know that he's an
the
Olympian, though.
Roman? What
I don't
is
know that he's an Olympian.
oh, he's not maybe an Olympian. That's right.
Yeah, but he could certainly, you know,
Mm.
fall within that category
He's
of being
definitely,
kind of
yeah, the Bacchus,
feisty.
the Bacchus,
Yeah,
the
Dionysus.
Dionysus. Those are Lokis. Yeah, basically, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that there's some definite, you know, energy there
Mm.
with some of that.
Well, it's definitely intense, if nothing else.
Yeah,
Mm. Intensity.
but that idea of, you know, 13, where you know, most buildings in major cities, they do not have a 13th floor. If you're in the elevator, skips right from 12 to 14. You know,
Mm.
so
Mhm.
it's very prevalent in not only our our culture, but in other cultures as well, who kind of adopt like this suspicion of 13.
Yeah.
You know, and again, with like uh you know, like a lot of readings that I will do for strangers, or people who have only a superficial knowledge of the tarot. It's
Yeah.
like they'll have this fear of getting the death card in their reading.
Oh,
It's
yes.
like, if they have a reading and it's, you know, the death card doesn't show up, it's like, oh, it's like they've made it through the gauntlet there of you know, looking at their future. And it's like the death card is so, it's so personal, and it can mean, you know, that one is just ready to change, much like the caterpillar to the butterfly, where one is going
Right.
to take wing. And I think that you had found something on the web, or had listened to someone that was more of a positive spin. What was that?
Right. Oh, this morning when I was looking at Facebook, I saw that this one wonderful woman named Ria, she had posted that in Greece it was considered the day of the goddess, and she's Greek. And so it was all about that. It's the worshiping cycles of creation, death, and rebirth, and celebrating beauty, wisdom, and nourishment. And I thought that was really sweet. Yeah, and it's her name day, so she was writing about it
Hmm.
and about how it's the day of the goddess.
Yeah, but that idea of rebirth, of, you know, being able to let go of a self that one is ready to let go of and evolve, to come into the next version of oneself.
Yeah.
That's how does one make that shift, right? From one of fear about, it's like this is like ominous, right?
Right.
Don't you think we do that though with just a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily fully are able to intellectualize and wrap our head around? It's like
Yeah.
we'll get into like these superstitions that may not serve us because we come at them from a place of fear rather than of looking to see how we can empower ourselves in them.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, people get fearful of things and then they go into more fear. Because I wrote down, things like superstitions, such as walking under a ladder, a black cat crosses your path, or you crack a mirror, or you're just in a dark place in the woods or in the streets, and you're all of a sudden you freak yourself out.
Right.
In the garage, and like, oh my God. Yeah.
I was driving down PCH, and there was this mirror that was by the side of the road. It was like standing up, right? Like leaning up against a tree or something like that. And it was smashed. It was smashed.
Really?
And it did occur to me, as I'm driving by, it's like, oh, someone's got like really crappy luck for the next 7 years.
See?
And it's like, these things they're ingrained, into
right.
our social consciousness, right? Through our customs and all.
You wonder where that came from, like the cracked mirror, like somebody didn't like or they didn't want them looking into a mirror, and so they kept cracking them and saying it's 7 years bad luck, or
right,
or it will be now for you or something. You never know what.
I think the number 7 too has its energy as well, that can be either like positive or negative. With 13, is there a way of shifting some of that energy, so again, one looks to not what it is that they're losing, or what they're leaving behind, but what they're moving towards.
Yeah. Beanie, do you want up? Beanie's wanting to say hi to everybody. Come here. You can say hi. You're like a Friday the 13th Quasimodo. Yes. Oh my goodness, you're too big. Yes. So he just wants to say hi for a second because he's already in my. Whoa.
He's like getting wrapped up in your cords and all. He's like, uh-oh, that's a Friday the 13th moment.
Oh, honey. Yeah. This is our baby. This is the baby. I know you are the baby. I know you're the baby. Say hi to everybody, honey. Say
right.
hi. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Bean.
Say hi.
Mr. Bentley Bean.
Let's make sure I don't have your thing. That's my boy. Oh, he's going rushing off. Oh, there we go. We have a Sophia who's coming by too. They both want their love. Oh, and a ghosty too. We got everybody. I know.
It's like you have the whole family there.
We do. We have the whole family. We're all about the whole family, aren't we? I know there's a lot of them. I'd like to put Sophie on my lap, but she might yelp. I don't ever really pick her up. So.
Yeah, she's pretty sensitive that way. Some dogs are lap dogs, and she has no compunction about like she will rest her head in your lap and all, but it's
she
like
cuddles.
If you pull her ears, just to go hello, it's like nope.
Oh no,
she's
not
about that.
No, but she just screams. She doesn't try to bite anybody.
Yeah, that's
She's at the baby.
that warning before anything. It's just, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got, the Cavaliers with the long ears. And so I'm always like
Right.
grabbing them and like, run, 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 like their motorcycle
Yeah,
handles,
man.
and they
Right.
love it. But
Right.
Sophia, nope, she does not love that.
No, she does not love that. She does not. Yes. No. So anyway, yeah, and it may have begun, to the 13, like, there's the 12 days before Christmas and the 12 months and the 12 zodiac signs. So there's kind of like an ending with
Yeah.
some things, to whereas 13 became a new beginning, or it became it's like the odd man out, or the oddball, or it's just different. It's just different. So, but like I was saying, we're either lucky or unlucky every single day. So, we have to pick our choice,
Right.
What are we afraid of? Definitely not
Well,
the 13.
what do we resist? Right.
Right.
Because if it is signifying some kind of change, do we resist that change?
Right.
And, not everyone is fond of change.
No.
Because it means uncertainty, right?
Right.
It can mean where it's just like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. And we can get into, fear is something that is like, it's like, well, I don't know. And so when that uncertainty comes in, it's like, there are a lot of different levels of it. If it's just like a daily routine that's changing up, it's like, well, okay, let's see, what I can make adjustments. If it's a big life change, if it's like, something that is significant, then it's like, oh boy, it just kind of, throws off everything, the routine of things. And humans love routine. They love patterns. And if, one is not ready to, or they don't think they're ready to make that change and go into a new pattern, then there can be that resistance. And so it's like, oh, it's like on a societal level, it's like, oh, let's just, let's keep things orderly. Let's keep the status quo.
Yeah.
Let's not upset the turnip cart.
Right. Well, and then we have, the U.S. seal actually has 13 stars and 13 bars, 13 feathers in the eagle's tail.
Right. Well,
So
why do you think that is?
13 bars in one claw and 13 olive branches in the other. What was the new beginning?
Well, it was the new beginning. It was the 13 colonies, right?
Right.
It was the I mean, that's how many they had.
Right.
And so, yeah, absolutely. A new beginning, a breakaway from Mother England,
Yeah.
at that time. And
Right.
so
But-
I mean, that can be a positive, right? That can be
Right.
where an embracing of that energy for something new.
Yeah, and then numerology, the 1 and the 3 is all about communicating on a bigger level. You're supposed to be more individual and have an opinion and be maybe self-actualized. 13, and then and it's about the structure, because the next part of your life you go into that family, the home and the family, and it's important to have a voice and how to proceed in your life with being successful, or your security, creating manifestation, a home and money and food and all the rest.
All that good stuff that helps
The
us
good stuff.
sustain ourselves in life,
That's right. That's
enjoy
right.
life.
Yeah. And so the Chinese, pagans, and other ancient times marked time by the lunar calendar, the lunar cycle. And it was considered a very lucky number, 13.
Mhm.
So Yeah. And then the Egyptian philosophy believes that life is a mission for eternal afterlife. This journey walks through 13 levels, the first 12 in this life, and the death is the 13th level. And the number 13 symbolizes death is glorious and attaining real life. But you must go through the 12 stages first, which I agree. You have to go through the 12 stages to get to that 13th of what you're looking for.
Are those easy stages, those 12?
Yeah. And then it does the yours again. This is what I wrote many years ago, right?
Yeah.
On the Friday the 13th. The fear of Friday the 13th started as a Norse myth where 12 gods were having a party in Valhalla, heaven, and capricious Loki came as the 13th guest and arranged for Hodar the blind to shoot Bader the beautiful with a mistletoe tipped arrow where he died and the earth grew dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loki, bad Loki.
Right.
Yes.
It's like, you know, he's that Uncle Bob who just like, you know.
Poor Bob, the names of Bob. You know, we know so many good Bobs. But yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Uncle
I
Bob. Right.
who's
Yeah.
at Thanksgiving, who's just like, it's like, you just, you know, sit over there. You're welcome, but no poison tipped arrows
Yeah.
for you.
Well, there's many people who, if they don't have a dart tongue, you know, a snake tongue, they have, you know, poisonous motives. So
Right.
none of those. None of
Right.
those.
Right. Just
Yeah.
keep
Friday
to
the
your
13th.
corner.
Don't be fearful. Don't be what is it? Fearful or have frigga whatever.
Friggatriskaidekaphobi.
You're right. It's called paraskavedekatriaphobia. Deca. So that means the 13th of 10. It's phobia. Okay, in Greek. Okay, I see now. Triskaidekaphophobia. Triskaidekaphobia.
Right.
All right. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all making sense, right?
It's all
It's
making
not just a
sense now.
big like word salad there that you're having to get through.
Friday the 13th word spelled out 13th. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Right. But what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of anything? Like a number or a water or
Haircuts.
oh, that's true for you. Someone touching your beard.
Yeah. It's you know, yeah. I mean, are there things that you know, I mean, there are big fears, right? There's a fear of not being able to express myself creatively. That's a fear, but it's also you know, it's not something that's a paralysis, right? Because it's like I don't let it stop me from that. It would you know, what's like something substantial, right? It's like, you know, there's like a healthy fear of like just
healthy fear of candy bars.
Yeah, I go into a convenience store and it's like, not the candy bar section. No,
that's me. Not the candy bar section.
I'm not like, I don't get like,
yeah.
But you know, it's like there are
not fearful though. It's just annoyed by it.
You know, I fear rats. You know, if someone is holding a pet rat and all, that's a little more accessible than if I'm walking the dogs at midnight and there's a rat that, you know, goes across the highway or just in front of me. Then it's like, you know, it touches some kind of like deep past life, you know, plague infested kind of like plague time, you know, where it's just like, I mean, it's
people died from fleas that were on rats.
And it's like cats were seen as verboten. It's like, oh no cats, because they're of the devil or whatever. And it's just like, well, they're also gonna, like,
Kill all the rats. You better get some.
control, just
Yeah,
the population there of
right.
rats.
They're
So
great. Yeah, there's always it's always close at hand. If, we're sick, a cure is close at hand. And so it is with that sort of thing. It's always close at hand. Like I always used to put out for, bugs in my yard and stuff. I would let out like thousands of ladybugs. I'd buy those big bags of ladybugs and I'd, just put them out because, that was the natural way of curing something.
yeah,
I
of
don't
because they
like,
eat aphids,
yeah,
they
why, kill everything.
right.
It wasn't my thing ever. It's better to get the cure for things. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. To keep things in balance, to keep things in check.
Mm.
And I mean, what do you do for your candy bar phobia? I bet there's a really long Greek name, like that would
No, I just was using that. I don't really fear, I just don't eat it. Try not to. But then, I can be at the gym and think, all this exercise, am I going to stay, slim or toned? When is it going to happen? I'm with that, like everybody, I want
right.
instant results now. Now is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But that's a lack of patience. I don't think that's a phobia.
is there such a thing as that instant transformation?
No, I guess not. I mean, I guess it takes work.
It usually
Yeah.
takes a mindset,
Yeah.
towards that. And again,
Different mindset.
we look at patterns and superstitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a superstition, it can keep us locked
Mm-hmm.
into a certain mindset that will, just it won't let us, bust out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we may feel like, oh, because it's a certain day, that's just, I'm not gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna be a little bit more watchful, a little bit more fearful, right? Rather than like being more expansive and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna just, live my life by these myths and things that, do they have relevance?
Right.
Am I worried about, Loki, showing up at my doorstep, today,
No.
because it's Friday the 13th, right? It's like makes for a good story, makes for, like a but does it have relevance? Does it,
No, because you were talking about like the tarot, whenever I get the death card, it's not about death. We die many times in our lives. It's just, a new beginning of some kind. So where's the new beginning? And, and I look at sometimes new beginnings as really fresh times. Fresh, you're on the track. Like we were talking about this morning, being an authority of what you do. It's great. You change different platforms, different modes of doing things, methods. You bring freshness because that life is ever changing, and we just have to keep going, and our lives. And how do we do that and keep a really great outlook, keep our same passion level, be excited every day? Yeah, just we work at putting our best foot forward and not tumbling backwards. It's just going forward.
Yeah, it's like the quality of change. It can be something that is within us, that has been growing inside of us, that it's sprouting, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's new layers that keep showing up, and then we're ready to take a conscious step towards this new person that we've become, right? It's
Right.
like if you think of our beings as kind of these seeds that grow outwards
Mhm.
in life, where
Right.
each layer comes up, and it's like moving out, pushing out from the center. It's like, we're expressing ourselves in different ways as we, as we age, for one, right?
Mhm.
And as we acquire new skills, it's like, well, how am I going to apply that? All of this schooling that I went through, is this sinking into where I can own it and say, this is what I want in life, and this is who I am now. And then we start, activating that out in life. That's transformation, right?
Mhm.
And we're a part of that process um, of changing it up for ourselves, changing up how we see ourselves, and eventually how others will see us too, how they will respond to us differently.
Mhm.
Does it take some doing? Does it take a commitment within to, a stick-to-itiveness, uh,
Yeah.
a discipline within ourselves? Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. It's great, you know,
Yeah,
just keep going.
yeah, and check in to, like, if there's like a fearful thought, or
Oh, yeah.
if there's fear inside, right? And to
Oh, yeah,
look
no,
to
I get it.
convert that.
I get it all the time. Being the really the life coach and the metaphysician and the hypnotherapist, I get it a lot where people are so blessed in their life and they're going forward so nicely. And yet all of a sudden they get into lack, or they get into like, I don't have enough. And it's like, wow, you have really been gaining such good strides here of gaining a good foothold in what I call sourcing, because it's opening up your chakras, opening up your energy to it, to receive as well as to give. Giving and receiving is the name of the game.
Mhm.
So the thing is, but it's receiving as well. And so, and knowing how to receive. And it's about receiving energy mostly. Money is an energy, love is an energy, all of our whole life pretty much is an energy. So we need to keep it going. Plug in instead of plugging out. You can isolate, you can think that you're in a world of lack. And lack can come in many different forms. So, it's really getting into the mindset of that we live in a prosperous universe, and to not think that we have to like roll in gold or roll in money or anything like that. It's just to be receiving what we need, and that we give help to those who need as well. But that's kind of a can be tricky. There can be Lokis all around.
There we go, back to that
Yes,
Friday the
back to
13th.
Loki. Yeah, I mean, because again, it's not somebody who's just freeloading or doesn't have a clue of what they're doing in their life. It's really about getting on track, getting on track. And if you need to get on track, there's people out there to help you get on track, to just to hold your hand, to give you pep talks, or to see your way a little bit.
Well, to that point, I think that
Mm.
it's natural, or part of human nature, especially if we get on a roll, as far as
Yes.
like, we feel like, oh yeah, I am like bringing um these this abundance to me that I'm feeling great about. And then to have kind of a suspicion. It's like, okay, am I worthy of this? Is this like too easy? It can feel like
Right.
one needs to catch up with that energy too, and to be in resonance with it, so that you're not getting too far ahead of yourself too.
Right. So this is the book that's like Greek, it's the ephemeris. That's
Yeah.
what I read. So I wanted to read the ephemeris for a moment, and then, I would like you to give your website, Jason, while I get the ephemeris ready here.
Well, I can't give you, am I giving it now? My website?
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
All right.
It's jasondmckean.com.
Right.
Jason D, as in discipline. Jason
Okay.
D McKean, McKean.com. And I have 2 books that are out now. The Wizards, the Magic
Hammer.
Channel Tarot reading with the Tarot Wizard, the Wizards
right.
Tarot Journal, and I just created a new tarot journal that is the multi-card spread, and that will be
And
out
then it's in
next
Japanese
week or so.
too.
And I have the Magic Channel book that's in Japanese as well. So, to be able to manifest your way forward in life, it's like it does take some stick-to-itiveness, some follow through in it, and to look at fear of what that all can mean, and to just gently say, you know what, not today, Satan. No, like not today, right? I'm not going to be in that fearful space today, right?
No fearful spaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Loki. There we go.
Loki.
It's like, back off, buddy.
Well, the coyote is Loki. There's a lot of like different lore of Loki. So now it's a total eclipse. It's going to be Sunday night that you see the full moon, but the culmination looks like it's going to be at 4 o'clock. 4:15 is the culmination of Eastern Standard Time, I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to double check on that, but that means that we won't be seeing the lunar eclipse, but you can see it on SLU, in the Pacific time. It'll be 7 in the morning, so we won't be seeing it in the sky, but we can see it on SLU.
How is SLU spelled?
SLOOH.com. You see it's SLU, and then a lot of times, just look up where I see the lunar eclipse, because it'll be dark. It's dark somewhere in the world.
Yeah. So that is the shadow of the Earth. The Earth is like right in between the sun and the moon. The Earth is like, its shadow is blocking it out, but it's not a new moon at all.
No,
it's the
eclipse. It's the eclipse. Yeah. So the thing is that with eclipses, things go out. So you choose what you want to go out. If you start choosing, then it's, it gives you a little bit where you're meditating on, this is where I would like to clear up my life, please. Yeah. And, pray on that at the culmination. Why I do it is because it's the moving all the waters of the world. It is the most intense time on the planet. So that's why I work with the full moon. And because I believe that we are an energy, and our thoughts are energy, and our motives are energy. And it's like, let's cast away our problems in that energy. Yes. Okay. I'm at tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com. And thank you, Jason, for being on the show today.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for having me, and much love to you, and everyone. Blessings.
I love you. Okay. Thank you. I think I have to go out on Facebook now, and thank you so much for joining us today.